Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast, and happy Memorial Day weekend. This weekend, tomorrow, we remember those who have fought and died for our country, for the freedoms that we enjoy, really the freedom to do exactly what we're doing here this morning, the freedom to explore our spirituality, freedom to come together and congregate, even though we're doing it via online. That's a freedom. Yeah. So let us not squander the freedoms that we have. Let us not squander their efforts, those that have died for these gifts that we enjoy. Let us not squander it by staying small, by living unfulfilled lives. Yeah. Let us step out. Let us make the most of what we can do here and now in this lifetime, with the freedoms that we enjoy. And let us make sure that everyone in this country and around the world has the same ability to explore their dreams, their desires, their spiritual nature, and all that they can be. Yeah. Happy Memorial Day. And this is our Holy Uprising. So happy month of Holy Uprising, right? I'm Reverend Theresa Feeberts, and I know who you are too. You are a divine incarnation of that one life. You are so loved that before you even came here to planet Earth, life was breathed into this idea of you. And it's perfect, it's divine, it's whole, it's complete. Yeah, I honor you. Thanks for being with us. Because together, we are creating a world that works for everyone. Simply, that is what we are doing. We are part of a global network of Centers for Spiritual Living, which I believe is instrumental in leading humanity into a new paradigm of consciousness. Yeah. And so we invite you every week to use every moment of the day these tools that we teach to demonstrate these ideas, these teachings of science of mind in your own life, to expand your own life, and to enhance the life of your center and your community and the world. In short, we're rising to our spiritual magnificence each and every moment, and we do it together. So let's not keep it a secret. I don't want to keep this a secret. I don't want to keep Science of Mind a secret. I don't want to keep the Centers for Spiritual Living a secret, or the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast here in Sarasota, Florida. I don't want to keep it a secret. So help me do that. Tell your friends, share our links. Share this right here, right now. Invite your friends to join you. Today, we are completing this month-long theme of Holy Uprising. And man, I have been loving it. I have been loving it. And so this morning, we're going to do a rewrite of the stories that we tell ourselves. Stories about ourselves, of other people, of our country, of the world. Stories about God. And let's take that idea right now into prayer. What we call affirmative prayer, or spiritual mind treatment, or simply treatment. We're treating our minds to a new idea in this moment. And that new idea goes like this. Once upon a time, there was a love so great, so powerful, so unconditional, that on an act upon itself, it came from an invisible, infinite realm into form. Into form. And that is all that I see here and now. That is the world in which we live and move and have our being. It is of a divine nature. It is of a spiritual nature. It was simply God becoming itself in form. Spirit coming into form. And that spirit is still here. It wasn't an activity that just happened one time. It is happening over and over and over again. And it happens by means of my thoughts, my ideas, my behaviors, my actions. I am it in form. It is me. Oh my goodness. How amazing is this story? And how infinite are the possibilities for my life? How much am I loved? This is my story, and this is a story for each one of us here this morning. Each person that tunes in to this message. Really, every person, everything, everywhere, all the time. This is our story. And so in this moment, I allowed the freedom to inform and express and enhance my life and the world. With an open heart and mind, I let it be in its fullness, in its beauty, in that unconditional love. And I listen. And so I affirm for each one of us, no matter what brought us to turn this on this morning or in this moment, we're inspired, we're enlightened, we're informed by something within ourselves, that divinity within us, recognizing in a word, in the song, in a reading, within ourselves simply the truth of who and what we are. I claim this to be so. I celebrate this truth as I release this word, and so it is. So be it. Amen. Yeah. Happy you're with me this morning. And we have a special treat from this woman who time travels. She's already in the evening of this day. She already knows how beautiful this day is. Help me welcome Claudia Lammermeyer from Austria.
Thank you very much, Theresa. Your words are like a street directly in heaven. And also, a guy from Nashville made a very nice song. Ron Block is a composer from Nashville, and I like the song from him. I will now present to you. If I could have the world and all it owns, 1,000 kingdoms, 1,000 thrones, if all the earth were mine to own, with wealth my only goal, I'd spend my gold on selfish things, without the love that your life brings. Just a little bit more was all I'd need, till life was torn from me. I'd rather be in the palm of your hand, through rich or poor I may be. Faith can see right through the circumstance, see the forest in spite of the trees. Your grace provides for me. If I should walk the streets, no place to sleep, no faith in promises you keep, I'd have no way to buy my bread, with a Bible for my bed. But if I trust the one who died for me, who shed his blood to set me free, if I live my life to trust in you, your grace will see me through. I'd rather be in the palm of your hand, through rich or poor I may be. Faith can see right through the circumstance, see the forest in spite of the trees. Your grace provides for me. Your grace provides for me. Your grace provides for me. Thank you.
Julie, you're
Thank you. I'm Julie Birch, practitioner at Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. I apologize, my mic was off. Today I'd like to do a short reading, and this goes a lot with our Holy, Holy Uprising for the month of May. This is from the book, The Way of Liberation by Adyashanti. And this part is called Wake Up or Perish. We are no doubt at a very critical time. Our world hangs in the balance, and a precarious balance it is. Awakening to reality is no longer a possibility, it is an imperative. We have sailed the ship of delusion about as far as she can carry us. We have run her ashore and now find ourselves shipwrecked on an increasingly desolate land. Our options have imploded. Wake up or perish is the spiritual call of our times. Did we ever need more motivation than this? And he also says, many people think that it is the function of spiritual teaching to provide the answers to life's biggest questions. But the primary task of any good spiritual teaching is the opposite. It is not to answer your questions. It is to question your answers. It is your conscious and unconscious assumptions and beliefs that distort your perception and caused you to see separation and division where there is actually only unity and completeness. At this very moment, reality and completeness are in plain sight. Let us be the change we want to see and do the work on ourselves so we can come from a place of love and unity. And now I'd like to invite back Claudia.
One of the highest healing energies, I think, is love. Julie told us about it. And today I sing a really deep love song. It comes from Greece. I like to sing in different languages. Long time ago I sang it for lovers. But now I sing it for the love to God. And this love endures forever in our hearts. Sagapo, Sagapo yati soreya, Sagapo yati soreya, Sagapo yati sasi. Kiagapo, kialatan cosmo. Kiagapo, kialatan cosmo. Yatisis kesimasi. Dobara firoklis melo. Dobara firoklis melo. Dobara firoklis melo. Aniksa doela fil. Aniksa doela filo. Dinikona sunado. Sagapo, Sagapo yati soreya, Sagapo yati soreya, Sagapo kesi sasi.
Wow. Sa agapo. Agapo? Yeah. Wow. Beautiful, beautiful, Claudia. Thank you so very much. I absolutely love that. And a sentiment, you know, it transcends, a sentiment like that transcends language, doesn't it? We feel it. We don't have to understand every word in the song. It's so beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And Julie, wonderful reading. I absolutely love that. And it is true. It is true. And what a month we are having. At the risk of sounding like a broken record, I want to say again and again and again that I am really loving this Holy, Holy Uprising. And I'm sad to see May end. What I'd like to do is recap, if I can, just in case you missed anything this month. And you can go back to that particular Sunday and listen in if it seems to call to you. But also because I really want us to get the full picture and leave this month inspired to carry this forward throughout the rest of the year. I'm just so excited about it. We began this month, the first Sunday of the month, with looking at life as a grand adventure, right? Life is a grand adventure. And the root of the word adventure is to arrive. And so we say, well, where are we arriving at? To where are we going? And Ernest Holmes gave us that answer by saying, God is the adventure. So by whatever name you call that creative impulse of the universe, it is the adventure. Life itself is the adventure. And that was a contemplative Sunday, our first Sunday of the month, where we meditate, we contemplate. And so we used this quote by Ernest Holmes, which is really probably my favorite quote of his. There's an inner urge in our minds to grow, to expand, to break down barriers of previous limitations, and to ever widen our experience. This persistent urge is a divine influence, an irresistible urge, and constitutes the greatest impulse in human experience. Let me have an amen. Let me hear your amen. You know, yes, there is that urge in us. And so that's where we started the month off, is that place of feeling completely in the womb, right? In the womb of possibilities and in the safety of those possibilities. Life is an adventure. And then we moved into Mother's Day and talked about revolutionary love. Yeah, a radical love. I used all month long as some of my support was the book See No Stranger by Valerie Kaur. And she talks in there, she shares stories of revolutionary radical love. And in the science of mind, we know that as a radical oneness. Because of our radical oneness, because of our idea of unity, that there's only one thing ever happening, that it's brought, multiplied, and diversified itself as the entire universe. That whatever I do affects you, whatever you do affects me. Because we're all interconnected. We're one. We're a unity. We're in union. And so I shared amazing stories of forgiveness and redemption and wholeness. Wholeness in our unity. And then the next two Sundays, we were releasing taboo subjects. Right? Taboo subjects, and looking at this idea of spiritual bypass and how we need to go in and through to get to the other side, to get to the good. And again, I used an Ernest Holmes quote where he says, our belief sets the limit. Our belief sets the limit to our demonstration of principle, which in and of itself is without limit. It is ready to fill everything because it is infinite. It is entirely a question of our own receptivity. Remember the story I told you about the fisherman? That the one guy kept throwing back the big fish because he had a little pan, because the fish didn't fit in his pan. We need to get a bigger pan. We need to get a bigger God, a bigger idea of what this thing called life is and what our potentialities are within this unlimited life. And then last Sunday, we looked at death and grief and how we can transform our grief, how we can grow through it. And we were learning right at the feet of a master, of a mystic, Mr. Rogers, when we were told that everything human is mentionable and anything mentionable is manageable. Isn't that great? We don't want to avoid our pain. We want to move into it, step into it, speak their names. This is the work of the Holy, Holy Uprising. This is the work of the Holy, Holy Uprising. And so today we wrap it all up because we're looking at how we can up-level the stories that we tell. And we tell a lot of stories. Yeah, don't we? We tell a lot of stories. We tell stories about our own lives. We tell stories about our past and our present and our future. And if we're honest, if you're really honest with yourself, these stories aren't very life-affirming, usually, are they? We have all kinds of stories, factual stories, or what we think are factual stories, fill-in-the-blank stories, make-believe stories, stories about ourselves, stories about other people, even stories about those people that we don't know. It doesn't matter if we know them or not. We tell stories about them. We make up stories about people. We make up stories about people in the grocery line, standing in line in front of us or behind us in the grocery store, at the bank, on Facebook. We make up stories about them. I don't think I'm the only one doing that. So I wish I could see your faces and hear your amens, yeah? We have lots of stories, lots of stories. And you might be like Bette Midler, who said, I never know how much of what I say is true. Is that true for you? I don't know. I tell so many stories, I don't even know what's true anymore. There's a serious side to these runaway memories and our embellished stories. They affect our lives. They affect the lives of people around us. They affect our world. Our stories become our new paradigm from which we live. Dr. Christian De Quincey, who was one of my professors in school, said, in a very literal sense, we are the world. We are the way the world shows up, uniquely and meaningful, here and now, at this time and place where we experience ourselves to be. In a very literal sense, we are the world. And if we accept that to be true, then isn't there a great responsibility that comes along with that? Emma Curtis Hopkins, one of our New Thought ancestors, said, the world will persist in exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming the world is. The world will persist in exhibiting before you what you persist in affirming the world is. You are a powerful, powerful expression. And you are empowered by that. Let me tell you what I mean. There's this word called agency. Agency. It's the sense that you have the power to course correct, that you have the power to control your life, that you have the power to control your thoughts or what's going on in your world. A sense of agency. It's empowerment. You have the empowerment to change your story, to change your life. This is your personal viewpoint, right? So you can change it at any time. You can shift it if you choose to. And for one thing, our personal view is not all of the picture, is it? We live in a in a complex web of life, Dr. De Quincey taught us. And we know from the law of attraction that we are constantly drawing to us or expelling from us according to our consciousness, according to our stories. And so I want you to hear Ernest Holmes preaching to you right now when he said, in This Thing Called You, today you're going to take your life in your own hands, realizing God is ever with you. I wish I could say it in his New England accent. Yeah? Today you're going to take your own life in your own hands. Whew. Look, it's an adventure. And there's a promise. There's a love, an unconditional love. And there's an urge within you that's guiding you. It's an adventure. Take some of the pressure off yourself. I'd love to pause with you now so you can consider what story you perpetuate that you'd be better off without. Just think about that for a moment. It's kind of Science of Mind 101 that there's a power in our thoughts, a power of our mind, a power of our thoughts to create our experience. Yes? Well, our memories hold the same power, and we're often unaware of that activity. But they're hanging out in our objective mind, influencing our world, our personal lives, and the collective life experience that we're enjoying. Think about what Emma said. So I want you to listen to your stories this week. It's easy because they're loud if we're considering a change. You know, we can listen to all the yeah buts, yeah but, yeah but, yeah but. You know, when our lives are changing, when we're in the process of getting a new job or starting a new business or trying to change an old habit into a more positive habit. If we're leaving something or we're leaving someone, we're either telling ourselves a story about our success or our failure in that process. And in your story, you might be the hero, the victim, the wrongdoer, the innocent bystander, or simply the observer. But I want you to pay attention to that. Because if it's not a positive story, if it's not life-affirming, then it doesn't matter which character, which archetype you're playing, because in the long run, you can be the heroine who's saving the day every time, but really, you're probably victimizing yourself by the story that you tell, if it is not life-affirming. So you could be rescuing someone from their own path by being codependent. It may not necessarily be a life-affirming story. I want you to look at those deeply. Look at those deeply. And decide if it's something you want to continue. Again, Ernest Holmes, in This Thing Called You, he said, this is the story of your life. This is the story of your life. Just keep right on knocking at the doorway of your consciousness until every no becomes a yes. Every negation an affirmation. Every fear a faith. Yeah, this is the story of your life. And so I want you to ask yourself, what story are you ready to release and why? How has it held you back? And what story are you ready to boldly live into? These are the questions and the conversation that we're going to have in our Zoom after the message, after our gathering is over. So everybody's invited to that, and I send out the link. But what if this Sunday we committed to changing the narrative? Can you imagine being so bold as to tell Spirit's story about you? Not the story you've been telling yourself or others, but Spirit's version. Spirit's version of the story. I have a story for you. I've been a licensed realtor for 38 years. I'm a third generation realtor. My grandmother was a realtor. I put my children through private Montessori school. Put myself through college and graduate school. That's a story. My grandmother alone, that's a story. My daughter has a real estate license. It's 4 generations. It's a story. And this past week, I signed the paperwork to take my license with DBPR into inactive and to go into the referral program in Rose Bay. I've been talking about doing this since 2008, before I entered Ecker College. That's a story. I have a lot wrapped up in this story. And you can bet there's a backstory to it too. And so when I look deeper, what's the backstory? I didn't want to let go of the money. Yeah? The idea that that was the source of my good. Yeah, it's good income. Here's another story. It's better income than being a minister. That's a story. How much money a minister makes. That's a vow of poverty. That's a story, and it's a story I don't want to perpetuate. Here's another part of the backstory. I need a profession to fall back on if my ministry doesn't work out. Where am I putting my faith? Where's my source? Who is my source? What's my source? Can you see the size of my pan? You see the size of my pan? Or the size of my God? This is a big deal. It's a big deal for me. I want to know what's the big deal story for you. What is the big deal story that is time for you to let go of? And then I want to say, how can I or our practitioners support you in that? What if God was the author of your story? And I'm using the word God a lot today. I don't know why. Sometimes I say spirit, energy, life, universe, essence, whatever that word is that connects you to the source and substance of your very being. What if that was the author of your story? Wow! Wow! Can you imagine how the story is going to change? Ask yourself these questions. These are great journaling questions. Who are you? What does it mean to be a human being? Where did you come from? Why are you here? What is the meaning of your life? How do you contribute to society? And when it's all over, what will happen? Where will you go from here? See, without a conscious consideration, our lives are simply repetition. It's like Groundhog's Day, over and over and over. Dr. De Quincey taught us that we construct our history in our memories, and our memories are notoriously selective. All stories about ourselves are creations of our own imagination. Memory is a form of imagination. It's imagination directed towards the past. And intention is imagination directed towards the future. So what is your intention this day with this life? The soul, your soul, is the seat of memory. It contains a record of everything that has ever happened to you, albeit it's a bit filtered by your perspective. But it constitutes the subjective tendency of your life, of your individual life. A tendency that can be changed by trained thought, consistent effort, responsible action. These are good things. These are positive things. boldly living a new story will require us to give up a lot of what we've been telling ourselves pretty much most of our lives, won't it? But if we do that, then what? Imagine the infinite possibilities of who you are. Me? I'm a divine incarnation. I'm a divine incarnation of the one living life fully and freely, listening to the wisdom within me that guides me to my greater yet to be. That's why I signed that paperwork. The universe is loving and supportive, and everything I need is here for me now. It's here for me now to really experience this truth of what I talk about, what I teach. So as we conclude our focus on the Holy, Holy Uprising, I ask you to give up your attachments, beliefs, and control of those stories, of your stories, and create something new for yourself. And I implore you to listen deeply to Spirit's calling for what that is. You can join us on Tuesday mornings. We're doing the visioning. Last week was the first time Bobby and I opened it up and sent out a link for people. We had, I think, 8 or 9 people with us. I think we're going to have another 5 joining us this coming Tuesday. I'm really excited. And we're visioning for Spirit's highest vision of your life. So it's a great opportunity, a great time to jump in with that. And here's the other thing I'm going to ask you to do, is to give thanks, to be in a place of gratitude. Be in a place of gratitude for all your experiences, all those stories, everything that brought you to this place right here and right now. Give thanks for those old stories, for how they served you and how you can let them go now. If they no longer serve, we release them in love. And give thanks for the freedom that you have to create anew, the freedom that you have to be in the adventure of life, to be in the adventure of life. Join me in this affirmation. Today, I release my old story and behold the new me as the beloved. This is what I know for you. Amen, and so it is. And now we're going to go back to Claudia. I can't hear what else she has for us.
Well, I forgot my song because I'm so concentrated on all the words. Thank you very much, Theresa. You are inspiring me. And you asked me what is the new in my life. And the next song is new. And it's a brand new song because I wrote it in the time when I listened your wonderful words and be part of your wonderful community. I'm so inspired, and my old thought was I'm not a composer. I'm only a singer, and I sing songs. They are existing. But I think I tried the new one with the holy download. What a life full of pain you've had, hard, cruel, and so unfair, I know. Bitter sadness buried deep inside of you, and you feel so alone. You don't believe in holy goddess or God, and you don't dare to open your heart. Your heart that's cold and rigid with fear, scared of taking this step. But now, open your heart right now. It's the blessed moment for you. Dive into the well of endless love. Invade Dive into the well of endless love. Inhale the golden light. Healing power is given from the divine source. Don't be afraid. Allow infinite wisdom and the endless love take place in your wounded heart. Relax, get quiet, there is nothing to do. Lean back, calmly listen and enjoy. Then you're unbreakable, your sacred soul is one with the golden light. But now, open your heart. Right now is the blessed moment for you. Dive into the well of endless love. Inhale the golden light. But now, open your heart. Right now is the blessed moment for you. Dive into the well of endless love. Inhale the golden light. Inhale the golden light. Inhale, Center for Spiritual Living.
Thank you, Claudia. That was beautiful. Oh my goodness. And open your heart. I think opening our heart is easier when we think of opening our hearts to other people. And I think our message this morning is really to open our hearts to ourselves, open our hearts so that we can tell a new story of our heart. And it just strikes me that this is one of the most important things that we can do. And I'm here to talk about money and giving again, and in telling our story. What story do we tell ourselves about our money? Are we telling ourselves a story that I don't have enough, I can't give? Am I telling myself a story that, oh, the Center for Spiritual Living isn't meeting in a live space, so they don't need the money? Having been a minister and relied on it for my income, I got to tell you that ministers do need to be paid. We didn't take a vow of poverty, and that centers have expenses even when they're not showing up in a physical space. So supporting our wonderful Center for Spiritual Living and telling a different story about our money and our giving is a great place to open our hearts to a new way of being this day and every day. Because I can tell you that it will change your life. It will change your life. So it's a moment that is life-changing. So I would say open your heart, open your sense of whatever it is you're feeling and whatever that story is you tell about giving, and understand something new about it today. And as you understand that something new, my hope is that you will open your heart to supporting our wonderful center, because I know as we give, we support the further development, the growth, the enhancement of all the things that make it such a wonderful space into which we've been accessing through Zoom and Facebook and all the different and YouTube, and eventually we'll be back live and simulcasting, which will bring a whole new level of understanding and activity for us. So I take a moment to Turn within and bless the giver and bless the gift, knowing that as we give freely from that open-heartedness, that open-hearted giving, that open-hearted space of knowing that we are contributing to something that is greater than our individual lives, that we create this powerful thing called ministry that expresses right here and right now as the Center for Spiritual Living Cultural Coast. So I'm so grateful to know that there is a flow of support and love for our center, and that it comes freely and it comes from that open-hearted giving that each of us participate in. So for this and so much more, I am eternally grateful, and so it is. And now I turn it back over to Bobby Fieberts.
Thank you, Emil. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on. I receive the gift of life and pass it on. I receive the gift of love and pass it on. I receive the gift of joy and pass it on. I receive all good and pass it on.
Thank you. Thank you all for being with us today. It was wonderful. My goodness, how I loved this morning. Like I said, I've loved this whole month and I've been inspired by it. I was inspired this morning. Julie, your reading, and Claudia, your voice and your songs are just, they just fill my heart. It's just so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your gift with us. And I just have a few announcements, but really I want to start with telling you that I've already said that visioning started last week, and we had a great group of people. It was a great time together. And Thursday, we started our meditation walks on the beach and watched sunset and had dinner together. There was just about 6 of us there, but it was beautiful. It was such a relaxing time. We'll be out there again this Thursday. And then last night, we were at Fogartyville for the Hoodas concert, and we had, I think, 11 people there. I got to hand out some of our Science Mind magazines, which was fabulous. Actually, there was maybe 4 or 5 other people from our community that didn't come because of us. They didn't know we were sponsoring it. But it was a wonderful show. Really, really, really great. And it was wonderful to see everyone. To actually see people in person. It was just fun, and it's fun to think about us doing that again here real soon. You can go ahead and sign up for the visioning. You have to sign up to get the link. I'll send the link out either late Monday night or Tuesday morning. And the meditation walks. All that information is on our email that goes out every Thursday morning. To make sure that you get that email, go to our website, www.cslculturalcoast.org, and scroll to the bottom and sign up for the emails. You can also do it on Facebook. I think you have to go to More or Other or one of those drop-down tags, but there's a place to sign up for MailChimp for the email list. And so I encourage you to do that. And with that, again, we're going to talk about what stories are you ready to release, and what bold news story are you ready to tell? We're going to be talking about that together in our Zoom. So I'm going to go post the link right now. And again, happy Memorial Day. I'm going to let Bobby close us out.
Thank you, Theresa. And don't forget, if you would like prayer support for anything, email prayer@cslculturalcoast.org, and like, share, subscribe to all this stuff so more people get to see it, and just do a little mini Memorial Day remembrance here. And now we'll close it with a song from Karen Drucker, Let Love Lead the Way. When my world is not okay, when there are roadblocks in my way, when I feel so all alone, these words will bring me home. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Oh, let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. When we can't see eye to eye, no matter how we try, we can find our harmony if you sing along with me. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Oh, let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. In everything, love will be the gift I bring, to give and to receive, straight from the heart. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Oh, let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Each morning when I wake, there's a choice that I can make. In everything I do and say, I'll let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. Oh, let love lead the way. Let love lead the way. All right, let love lead the way.